What's good, everybody? It's your girl Fallon, and I am here with Kristin, and we are bringing you another episode of You Better Than Me. You better than me, girl. You better than me.
Me. Hey
So,
y'all.
Kristin, word on the street is you got you a little passport or whatever, is what I have
Indeed.
heard.
Indeed.
Ooh.
I'm not basic anymore, y'all.
Oh my goodness. I feel like now is the perfect time to be traveling. We about to be knee deep up in the summer. I know that we always bring in the people summertime toolkit, summertime recipes, but since you got your passport, I feel like that should be something that we talk about because that's a big deal. It should be celebrated. It should be, something special. And I ain't gonna call you basic, but hey,
Right.
welcome to 2023.
Right. I mean, summer is right around the corner. So, look, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I did just go on a trip and I was upset because they didn't even stamp my passport. I'm like, come on, guys. It was
Child.
supposed to be my first one.
And where
And I
you went
didn't
to
get it.
Jamaica, right?
I went to Jamaica.
Child.
Them
Well, I
people
can
weren't
say
doing their
this.
job.
No, when we went to Jamaica last year, they do not stamp your passport. So the whole entering that country is very underwhelming. So on behalf of
Yeah.
myself and the rest of the travel committee, I'm sorry that your stamp did not get stamped. But
Thank
at
you.
least you went. I mean, at
I
least you got
did.
the proof. But you didn't. I mean, I feel like you didn't post no pictures. I feel like you did not do no check-ins. I'm
I
expecting
know. The
just a
social media
whole
girl didn't do
full recap.
anything.
What was
Right. And
going
I
on?
still plan on doing a recap. I just haven't. I guess because I hadn't been out of the country in such a long time, because it's not my first time. I just kind of like wanted to be in the moment. So that was part of it, like wanting to be in the moment, wanting to soak up the sun, wanting to get dark skin, just wanting to have a good time. And then, there was some other things going on too, where I was just like, I recorded things, but I just didn't put anything together. So it's a little
I
bit
feel
of, a little bit of drama, but
I
not
feel
not
like
too much.
I feel like it's some tea there, but I do kind of want to get back onto the passport thing because I feel like it's a lot of information that people don't know about in regards to like your passport and getting
Right.
your passport. For me, I feel like I did it the traditional way where you just go get your picture, send all the paperwork in, but you out in DC and baby, I thought you was just lying or didn't know what you was talking about when I'm gonna get me a next day airport passport. But can you tell the people about that in your passport experience? Because I
Right.
know that was possible.
So first of all, I had to give my friends, especially the ones that was just like Kristen. So one of my old roommates, Sue, shout out to Sue. I lived with this girl for like 5 to 6 years. And I'd be like, oh girl, I bought me a passport cover today. It's so cute. She like, you ain't gonna get no passport. I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere. So that's the reason why I never got a passport. So for like Sue, and I think I texted to Fallon when I got the passport, it was like, I got a passport. But my experience has always just been like, I know that this is an area where you can just walk up. Well, not really walk up. You have to set an appointment and you can get a same day passport. What I did not know is that because the passports are so backed up right now, and they weren't at the beginning of the year, but since it's so backed up right now, it's even harder to get that same day appointment. So you can only book the same day appointment 14 days in advance of your actual trip. You have to have documentation of that particular trip. I mean, of course, you have the other documents that they require. So that's like your birth certificate and ID and some other things. So I was able to get an appointment. When I called to get that same day appointment, they only had like maybe three available. And again, this is me calling 14 days out thinking anybody can just go. I'm thinking you could just walk up there and go. I ain't really even know that about the appointment thing, but I'm like, girl, you gotta do this because you already paid for the trip.
Mm.
And it's to the point where, like, if you call and there are no more appointments, you have to find another same day passport place. So that meant, in this area, I could possibly drive to Philly and do same day
Sure.
if they had an appointment. But I had a friend who did her passport paperwork in time and it still didn't come back. And she ended up having to fly to Texas to do a same day appointment. So I wouldn't say to do it that way. If it's your last resort, do it that way. Me, I kind of be pushing stuff to the limit because on one hand I have my stuff together, but then on the other hand I just be winging it. And so this was a situation where boom, I paid for the trip, it's paid in full, but I'm winging
Girl,
it on the passport. But I got to get there, so I
I
knew
just
I was
feel
gonna have to
like
make some shake.
you had me so stressed out
I
planning
did.
for your trip. Like I'm not a newbie. I'm on my like second passport. I think you got to get one every 10 years or something like that. So I'm on my second one, but you had me stressed
I did.
beyond the entirety of this process. Like baby, don't, if you live in Texas, don't try to do that. And I didn't even know you could fly to Texas to get a passport, but that had me stressed out. The whole everything had me stressed out,
I wouldn't
and
recommend it. I wouldn't
I just
recommend it because even when I got there, they were telling stories about like one lady, she drove from Richmond. Richmond is about 2 hours from the DC area, and she forgot her birth certificate.
ooh,
So like how it works is you come in the morning time, they look at all your documentation, and then you come back like 2 to 3 hours later and they have your passport ready. So basically someone had to drive her birth certificate up 2 hours away to try to get it in the time frame because again, I don't know if they did something special for her, but the appointments be taken and you literally
yeah.
have to go somewhere else.
I'm gonna get you a you better than me, and it ain't even time for that. But you are better than me.
Right.
You are
If you
better
don't
than
do it
me.
in advance, because
Please
yes,
don't do that, because my pressure. I ain't even on no pressure pills, but you had my pressure high.
I
I,
know.
I really feel like everything about it, like just the whole planning, the whole execution. I think I'm officially not the girls trip group trip friend no more. And I said that
Yeah.
before, but I don't think that that's me anymore.
So I think I'm the same way. Like you guys know, I'm in a sorority. So back in our 20s, we would take a trip every year before people start getting married and having babies. But that was like one of our things that I think kept us pretty bonded. And again, once the dynamics changed and we stopped doing it, and even then it was kind of rough planning because you have just different expectations. But once you come into like your late 30s, your early 40s, it's like okay, I ain't trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sit down and chill, or I want my rooms to be this way and this resort isn't this way, or I feel like for my $2,000 or $4,000 that I paid, it's only going so far and I could have gone here instead. So it's just a lot that goes with it. I don't think for me I'll be doing any more group trips. Like I mean, 3 to 4 people is okay, but I mean like big
Yeah.
groups like
Yeah.
six, and I
Yeah.
don't think I can do that because oh, child, especially when you invite new people too. That's
Ooh,
another thing. Like when you already know the people that are going, that's one thing. But when you invite new people into the mix and you're trying to get a collective group of women together to celebrate someone, it really
yeah.
made me think about your wedding when we went to that dinner. I had a flashback like,
Oh,
oh Lord,
that trauma.
hold my mule, y'all. Am I
Trigger
the drama?
warning.
Am I the
Am I
drama?
the drama?
Because
Is it
I
me?
was, is it me? Because I'm like, what's going on, Jesus? Why is people why are we doing this again? Why is it Houston again? So it felt like it was
Shut up.
Houston again, just
Don't
in
be
one aspect.
associating. Yeah, don't be associating my wedding with that. But anyways,
Houston and Jamaica, real quick. Like,
I blame it on Gemini season. That's what I'm blaming on.
I
Anyways,
mean, yeah.
but no, just for one, the coordination. For two, you always see like those memes where it's like telling black people planning a group trip, like, oh, 30 people at first, and then the day of it's like one person. Now
Right.
that hasn't particularly been my experience, but I have had some situations where it's been some conflict on some trips,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't do it. I can't. And like I said, I always say I ain't trying to be the friend that changed because they got married or whatever. I made this proclamation prior to getting married. The last
Mm-hmm.
group trip I went on was, what was that, 2021, I think, and it was a blast. But it was so executed to the point that the person whose birthday it was, she just sent an agenda that
Uh-huh.
was like, this is what I'm planning on doing. If you want to do this, get a ticket. So we looked at the little script. You got your ticket. All right, I want to go see Usher. I'm gonna do that. Okay, we doing brunch. I'm gonna do that. Okay, we doing this. I'm gonna do that. It was no force, nothing. It wasn't
Right.
no making the decision with the group, like all of that. What we gonna eat? What we gonna do? We gonna sleep? It was none of that. It was very independent. It was very much so a grown trip because it wasn't one of those. Well, everybody gotta wear pink and go here and do this and we gotta do that and all of that. No, we're grown and we tired and
Yeah.
ain't nobody got time to be planning all that shit.
I think I might be tired of that too because I even said with my sorority sisters, do not ask me to dress like y'all no more. I'm done with it
What
because
your little cat suit?
even then, see y'all, she being shady. If you my line sister and she listening, she's being shady. It's not my fault. But yeah, I'm just not in that mindset anymore. It was cool. I did it. I checked the box off. Ain't gotta do it again.
Yeah, no, me neither. I appreciate my friends who are steadfast and brave and will travel all around the world and don't need a whole crew to do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be playing on some grown people shit. Like shout
Right.
out to Carlos because she planned her Mexico City trip for her 40th. Okay, here's the room, I'm sorry, here's the villa I booked. Here's the days we gonna be there. Get your flight, get your car here, and we do everything. Like it has to be on some perfectly executed. I can't do disorganized. I can't
Yeah.
do childish. I can't do petty on no trips. I can't do drama. I really am to the point where social drinking is it could go so many different ways and
Oh my
I
gosh, it
to be
can.
babysitting. I don't want to be sick.
Ugh.
I don't want to be escorting or having to deal with all that. Like it's so many different factors.
Especially in a foreign country. That's what people be forgetting. Like, y'all, this is not the United States of America. This is somebody else's land. Like, you can't do all this stuff. Like, I'm not. Here's the thing: if we in the United States, I'm not going to jail with you. So you know I'm not going in a foreign country. You're gonna have to go by
I
yourself,
think
baby.
Americans are very sheltered in that sense that we not only sheltered but entitled. We
Oh
feel
yeah.
that the same shit that flies over here flies everywhere. We disregard culture. We disregard
Mm-hmm.
just what's right or wrong. And I'm not saying we out here about to just be not getting Aruba and Natalie Holloway and all these things because we do I think err on the side of caution. But sometimes we get in a space where we feel that we're invincible when we got that drink in our system, and I ain't trying to deal with nobody's actions or lack thereof when they can't control themselves. And I think I don't know if it's just the group trips dynamic or what, but people feel kind of inclined to do that. I don't know. Maybe it's a coping mechanism. Maybe they're drinking to pacify their insecurities or their nervousness about the trip or something. But I don't want to be around no drunk motherfucker on no trip.
See, I don't know what it is because I also feel like when you do those all inclusive resorts, like the alcohol is so watered down or something because I am a lightweight in the United States. 2 drinks is my maximum, especially if I'm driving. So I have 2 drinks of water, stop drinking or whatever. But when I tell you that it was just go, go, go time, I don't know if the sun had something to do with it,
The
but I was
sun does
mixing
feel like.
every type of alcohol together. And never was I once drunk. Not ever.
Mm. And
Not
see,
ever.
your body probably was, but you might not have known. So I feel like the heat, the dehydration, the sweating, the sugar that's in all that shit they giving you, I feel like all of those things combined give you a false sense of sobriety.
Well, it could be a false sense, but I'm just saying, even just mixing the liquors, like for me to be a lightweight, I would have thought that, a stomach ache or something. I had none of that. So,
But that's good in retrospect, but
in
still.
retrospect, yeah, it's good. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's for me. What I am looking forward to is a little vacation though. Like, I can't wait to have a vacation. Like, I've been flown out, of course, but I
You
don't
in this food,
know.
that the
I
intimacy of a
mean,
vacation is on some other level shit. I personally I would do a couple trip. Yeah, I would say
I
that.
can
Maybe
see
that would
that.
be the group trip dynamic that I would be, but it would have to be a couple that got their shit together. Cause like I said, I ain't trying to do no drama either. And shit, like, we gotta have our shit together. Like
Right.
I
Because you
don't
don't want
want
nobody to say the wrong thing and then the
yeah,
argument takes
I don't want
off
no
and
arguments. I
what
don't
you
want
told this person.
yeah, like it's so like just blending personalities. It's damn near the same as coordinating who you dating with travel.
I agree.
And you got to talk to your partner about their travel style also, because so many things. Like take a trip with somebody before you commit or sign your name on that dotted line, because that trip gonna tell you a lot about their patience. Or they hopping up the minute the plane stop, or they angry, or they pushing people out the way, or they knocking babies over, pushing old ladies out the way. Like you see a different side of people when
You
stress is
do.
involved, and travel stress is like
Different.
no other, no other.
It's funny that you say that because I do have a trip coming up. And so the person that I'm going on this trip with, he's on the trip currently. So he was just telling me that like he's the type of person, he wants to be the last person on the plane because he just has anxious energy. He's
Mm.
like, I jump up, I gotta be the last person. I'm like, well, I don't think that's the type of vacation, like if we're traveling together, I think that would annoy me. Like, if you're gonna wait here so everybody get on there, bye, because I'm about to go get in my seat. Because I like to be asleep before the plane take off because I have a lot of flight anxiety, which is also another
Mm.
reason why I haven't traveled much because I have flight anxiety. So I want to go get my little window seat, prop my little neck thing on the window,
I
and fall
took
asleep.
yeah.
That's what I
I
want to do.
like to consider myself somebody who is well traveled. Like I travel in general, but I
Uh
feel
huh.
like I like to be early. I like to show up to the airport in enough time to sit down, find somewhere to get comfortable. I don't want to be shuffling my feet looking for my gates. I want to be able to get me a little snack, give me some Twizzlers, and relax before I even try to get on the plane.
That sounds like you got a platinum card. And do. You heard me?
I mean, do, do have one. That fee was just due also this past month, so do definitely have the platinum, but it's my patience that's not platinum. That's my problem. I have a patience issue.
Gotcha. So you just try to get there to alleviate anything that could possibly happen.
I do not. Yeah, yeah. I don't like surprises. I don't like um people. I feel like people get real stupid when they travel, and so common sense start going out the window. Like if you know you got to take your shoes off, why you still got them on when you walking through the gate?
Right.
I mean through the security line.
Right.
If you know you
If
got
you know you can't have no
eight
water.
babies and two
Right.
strollers. Right. But see, I feel like people don't necessarily know that. Like a lot of people are just having first travel experiences or maybe haven't traveled in a long time. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's like a lack of information or just that people don't really do their research, but it is a lot that goes into it. Like there is an art of doing the thing.
Yeah, I just learned from my cousin. I may have said it before, and she told me this a while ago when I first moved to Virginia. She was just like, you cannot travel with everyone. Like I said, I was doing the group trips with my sorority sisters, which was cool. But she just said that, and it has always stuck with me. And so I usually travel with the same people, my friend Adrian, my friend Alicia. I branched out and had some other friends, and it's never been more than like 4 people. I think that's the sweet spot because once it starts going over that number, it's just too many
Mm-hmm.
buy-ins. Like too many people want to do this, and I mean, I'm extremely social, but I'm also really good at doing a lot of stuff by myself, and I actually enjoy it because I get to choose
Yeah.
everything I want to do, and I don't have to have anyone say I don't want to do it or we just did what you want to do yesterday. I just rather do my own thing. That's just how I am.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of like that too. I don't it annoys me having to make group executive decisions, like trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what time to eat or where we're gonna eat. When I'm
Right.
hungry, everybody could get cussed out. Like me
Hangry.
and my friends have probably almost strangled each other. Yes, we have almost strangled each other on several continents in several countries. Oh man. Like I can remember us in India, hungry as fuck, damn near having to escape our taxi driver, riding in silence, not knowing where we at, phone signals, people funky, gums bleeding, like literally on the set of Slumdog Millionaire,
That
mad as
India
hell and
trip
hungry
wasn't
in
nothing to play
each
with.
other. Ooh, my God. Like I feel like I still have trauma from that. I don't even want to go back to the continent of Asia at all. Like I'm good on I, I know that's a bold statement, but I'm good on it. Like everybody talking about that Bali and Thailand. Okay, maybe when I'm 50, in my 50s,
Every
but
time you
now
say that, I am
I don't
tickled.
have the patience for it. I'm still scarred over.
Every time you say that, I'm just so tickled. You like, I don't even want to go back over there. So that is just too funny to me.
Man, it's real. But let me let's say we put these rupees on the church's bills and take a little short break. And I do want to ask you more questions about Jamaica because we ain't even really got the tea
Sure.
yet.
Are you ready to take your streaming broadcast, website, or social media visuals up a notch? Pyro Media Productions is here with the perfect solution. From dynamics, design, and professional headshot shoots to family photo ops, they've got all you need for stunning content creation. Check out pyromediaproductions.com today and add that creative flair. Pyro Media Productions, setting brands ablaze since 2017.
So why you wasn't posting no pictures? What you was doing? Because that leads me to believe that it was more than meets the eye on this trip.
So I was really just having a good time. You said you don't like surprises on vacation. There was a surprise. So someone did surprise my friend. It was her birthday trip, and it presented a different type of energy. It was male energy, in the form of two men. So that just, I feel like that really changed the entire dynamic of the trip. There really wasn't a reason why I wasn't posting. Like I posted a few things here and there, but I felt like, oh, in my mind, I'm gonna record all this content, and then when I get back, I'm just gonna start making videos. And I just haven't done it. Like I'll post something here and there. Like today, I posted a picture like I'm ready for my next vacation, and it was me on a boat and a little thong, that thong, thong, thong. But that was from Jamaica, and that's kind of it. Like I haven't really
Yeah.
posted anything just to be like, girl, this is how my Jamaica trip went. But maybe this week or sometime I'll post something so y'all can see because I have some good content. Um, yeah, so I was just over there chilling and having a good time when I could, minus the drama. I had a good time.
So how I would be mad basically if I went on a girls trip and some niggas popped up though. And I know my husband would be too. And I feel like anybody else who had a boyfriend or something and it was presented as a girls trip and then some niggas popped up, I feel like that would be kind of problematic. So
So I
how
don't think it was
how did that
presented as a girls' trip. That's the thing. It wasn't presented as a girls' trip. I think it should have been a co-ed trip. I don't think people were bringing their spouses or their boyfriends or anything. Well, let me take that back. There were supposed to be like maybe two couples, but I think they pulled out. So it was going to be a co-ed trip initially, but people said that they were backing out. And then, the person that came, it was male energy, and he brought a friend with him. So that just changed the dynamics because it's just a different thing when you have somebody that if you single, you got a man there that's single, like you can flirt with whomever, you know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes as women, we may not know that we're doing it, but if you're like really cognizant, you can kind of like pick up on stuff. Like I pick up on everything. I might not say nothing, but I be picking up what people put down. And I think you fall into situations where there's such a short amount of male energy there. And if this male is giving attention to this woman and you not getting any, now you might have a man, but he at home, you ain't getting none. Now you feel a certain type of way. And I think for me, that was
mm,
my experience. I wasn't feeling like wasn't getting any attention, but I felt like on this particular trip that could have been part of the issue. And just the whole thing of like you saying that you're not coming, but then you surprise someone, like if that's really not your man, you know what I'm saying? Like it just presents just a
yeah,
whole different reality.
yeah. That now I do feel like women, especially when we are in our single ready to mingle season, that cattiness and competition can come out. And I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never been one to compete for no nigga with no friend. But when it's girls that maybe don't know each other that well, or maybe girls
Right.
who feel that they should be entitled to the meat at the meat market and feeling slighted because they not getting chose, I can see that being a problem, especially if it was girls you didn't know, or girls that you know don't typically hang around because that by itself too is something else. Like how are you maintaining or even feeling going on a trip with just like strangers or people that you've never shared space with? Like your comfort level got to be discussed also.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the beauty of that was before I went on a trip, I was very adamant about not staying with someone that I didn't know. So I knew that wasn't going to happen because if I couldn't find someone to stay with that I knew, I just wasn't going to go because I just already have issues with that in general. So I knew that wasn't going to be the case. But no, it's like just bringing people together and then just throwing in that masculine dynamic. I feel like if the guys weren't there, it would have been cool because everybody that said they had a man that was
Mhm.
FaceTiming their man, they would have still been FaceTiming their man because it would have just been all girls. But now, again, this male energy is here and it's like, oh, turn up, turn up, turn up. And it's like, oh, well, what about me? I mean, I'm cute. I'm light
Mm.
skinned. I'm this. Why don't you talk to me? And
Ooh.
just some of the things
Mm.
that were said, like you can see some things, like for me, I always, like I just said on this podcast before, I'll just remove myself from the situation before I turn up because at the end of the day, this is not my man. Like I'm not about to be over here acting a fool,
Yeah.
going to nobody jail over somebody man that's not mine. Even if he was my man and he was doing something, I'm not going to jail over you. So when I started seeing little things, picking up stuff, I was like, ooh, I didn't got burnt anyway. It's time for me to go up to my room, take a shower, and take a little nappy nap. So I did things like that.
Yeah.
And I told my friend, I was like, listen, it was your birthday, you were drinking. So a lot of things that I was privy to because I wasn't, turned up like that, you may not have been privy to. And that's why I removed myself from the situation because I'm here to celebrate you. I'm not here like these your friends, girl. These not my friends. But again, if
Yeah.
we on go time, it's gonna be hard for me to get off of go time. So I'm gonna remove myself before I start going.
Now that is one thing I love about you. You know how to celebrate who the fuck you there to celebrate, and some people don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
do that. Like I've been on trips where the dynamic has got screwed up and the point of the trip has been ruined. But that's one thing I can say. You grown enough to know how to remove yourself and like not let it fuck everything up. And
Yeah,
I've
it's not
had
about me.
unfortunately like that. Like that part is so cool to me that you're that evolved because everybody ain't like that, and
Mm-mm.
it's it's a lot of people who are too selfish to separate their own personal moment of whatever they in from the trip. Like I don't know, it's weird. I just feel like people lose their senses when sometimes they're not the center of attention.
Right.
And I feel like being able to let somebody else wear the crown or the sash is also very important on travel and knowing your role
Mm-hmm.
in all of these things like that too is something that has to be thought about before you get into all these itinerary commitments, I think.
I agree because my friend did not have a good time. If I could afford to give her a do over, like just by herself, I would honestly give her a do over because there were a lot of moments that were a shit show. And she was like, oh, I
Mm.
think we should do Jamaica again. And I was just like, girl, if y'all do Jamaica again, I'll like all y'all pictures, but don't invite me. And I'm dead ass. Do not invite me. Mm-mm.
So what
It
made
was
it so
just too
bad for her?
much.
Like why was she not able to recoup a good time?
Because her surprise, I think their dynamic is very different. So again, you bring over somebody with this big personality. Again, like you just said, like sometimes people don't understand that we're here to celebrate the birthday girl. You know what I'm saying? So you start
Yeah.
bringing all these different things, and I think it was just a big dynamic. Them having a previous relationship, or interactions, and it just you got to put in drinking, you got to put in some other stuff that you can do in Jamaica. Like it was just a lot. You probably can put in just emotions of like everything it took for us to get there because the story
Yeah.
on what it took for us to get there. That's another thing with girls trips, like going through travel agents. Like that's something that I've never done before. So to go through a travel
Mm-mm.
agent that totally screwed you up and didn't even know they screwed you up, like I had to figure out that, hey, what's going on, you guys didn't charge my account, and now when you charge my account there's no rooms. Like these things are added stress, you know what I'm saying? And if you're being the
Yeah.
initial planner, you're trying to pull everybody together, but it's still your birthday. You get this person that comes surprising you and they just kind of make it about them, you know what I'm saying, and do things to kind
Yeah.
of get under your skin. Then I think that's what really made it how it was for her. And I'm not talking too much in details because it's not my trip and my
Yeah.
friend listens and other people may listen and I don't want anybody to be offended. I mean, honestly, I don't care, but just to be mature, I'm not gonna go into details about it. But it's just personality and dynamics. Like I think when people understand a time and a place, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying, and treating people how you would want to be treated, I think things would be so much better.
girl, that's a word right there. That's in every aspect of
It's in
life.
every aspect, because even with the person, with the girl that I feel felt slighted, like some of the things that she said, like if the shoe were on the other foot, there are things that I just wouldn't say. Hey, I'm not
Yeah.
thirsty. I feel like if people
Ooh,
want me, they want me. I'm just not thirsty. Like it came off like you need a drink because they're free right here when all inclusive. It just came off
right.
so thirsty to me. And I'm just like, girl, this not my man. You can have him. This
Like
community mean.
the thirst should have been quenched well in our you after 30. I don't feel like it should be no thirst.
Yeah,
Everybody should be
thirst should have been
well.
quenched because you had a man. Right?
That
I
part
mean, if
too.
you had a man, then why you on vacation thirsty? You should have invited
Yeah,
him.
that part
And
also.
so, and that's why I said, you know what, let me remove myself, because I'm telling you, when I go, I'm not gonna be able to stop. And that's why I told my friend too. I was like, listen, you already know I'm not gonna be able to stop, so it's just best for me to just leave, keep it cute. And that's what I did.
Well, that's bold. That's brave of you and very admirable, I think, and very honorable. Because I don't want nobody to be setting nothing off in no other countries ever.
No. Mm-mm.
I feel like I do owe you like an apology though, because I remember when we were there. Like if you listen to the last episode, we talked about our DC, and we vaguely got on the subject of like travel and group trips or whatever. And the people, I don't drag me, people. But I said something along the lines of, "Girl, gonna get your man so you can come to the next trip." But in retrospect, I feel like that should not be a prerequisite to traveling. I don't want that image to be painted that only a bitch with a husband or a bitch with a man need to be going somewhere. Nor do I want it to seem like I'm shitting on the whole group girl fun, because sometimes people take it too far and people be real quick to say you to change because you didn't got a husband.
That's true.
So
Well, context is everything, and the context behind the conversation was, you and your husband going to a resort and experiencing some things that I didn't really experience at my resort, because we were at a turn up resort, so people
yeah.
was just turning up. It was more of us that looked like us than those that did not look like us. And so
Hmm.
we were just speaking about your experience, and I was like, oh man, why do you guys rent a house? Like I think that would be cool, rent a house and get your friends. But we've learned from the last episode of season, I think the last episode of right around Fallon's wedding, that friendships and dynamics change once you start having these big life events. So like
Yeah.
some of the people that may have been in your wedding, you may not be as close to those people anymore. So these may not be people that you would want to invite to rent a house with. And then again, when we speak about traveling, and this is what I say all the time, whether it's a big group trip or a small trip, you got to be ready to put them funds down. And if you're not ready to put
Baby,
them funds down, it ain't no trip.
you got to be ready to put that cash down. You ever swipe that card,
Swipe that
because you
card.
ain't nobody trying to go nowhere on. But budget travel is cool. But baby, if we got to be scraping up some rupees to get you a nugget, then I feel like you probably should have sat this round out.
Agreed, agreed. So that's why she said, "Oh, well, it would be cool to go on to rent the house, but if you had a man." So I get it in that aspect, because I think that would be dope. I mean, once I get a man or whatever, and I start have my little vacation, maybe we'll consider, depending on how our travel dynamics are, maybe we would
Yes,
consider.
because we have to consider that.
Yeah, you got to consider all those things. But I learned
No,
so
and Lord
much.
knows we ain't forcing no friendships or forcing no people together. I ain't having no more restaurant encounters or things of that nature. So there's some vetting and some pre planning and some conversations that's gonna have to happen beforehand for sure. Because I don't want that ever happening again with people not getting along with each other.
So, quick question: are you more so like a resort girl, or are you like a villa Airbnb type of person when you travel out of the
So
country?
so for me, the trips where I've been just like abroad, I've done Airbnb or like um hostel. How do you pronounce that word?
It's a hostel.
Hostel, or we rented something.
Mm-hmm.
I've only done resorts in relationship.
Okay.
So travel with now like being married with a spouse, I think that I want to get him used to doing more bare essential in it versus a resort, because I feel like being in the elements is a whole different vibe. And
I
most vacation,
agree.
yeah, like vacation can, like, the romance is cool, the fun, doing it well, all that is cute, but then you want to have adventures with your person too. So I want to, get outside of the comfort zone, and try to stay somewhere else or do some type of excursion or do something different. So I'll say that I was one who only stuck to resorts if it was going to be on some romance type stuff, but actually seeing the world and being out there in the elements kind of put me on a different wavelength. So now I want to be in the barrio. I want to be walking around where the natives walking it. I don't want to be on the tourist stuff, or I don't want to be in no cheesy tourist traps ever.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, I feel like I just wanted to just be where the people were. So the last time I went out of the country, or the first time and the time before this time, I went to Jamaica again, and we rented a house, and the house was extremely nice, private beach. But at the time, my cousins were married, so I went with them, and they were just like to flirt with the bartender so we can get free drinks. So I did, because you got to play your position. So I played mine. And I was on that trip to babysit my cousin's kids. They had 2 kids,
Oh,
and they had like their couple friends who had their kids too. So it's just like, hey, we may want you to watch them while we go out together. And at the time, they probably were in like their 30s actually, because I had just graduated college. So we were all fairly young to be doing it how we was doing it. But
yeah.
we were there for 7 days, y'all. I watched them kids one day.
Oh,
And every
wow.
day, 6 days, I went out with the bartender,
Oh,
like
wow.
went out into the city. I went to strip clubs. I went and got food on the side of the road. Like, my cousin's ex-husband, he was a former Marine. So, he did his whole little Marine talk or whatever, and was like, you better make sure she back here. I know where you work. I know your managers,
Oh,
all this type
wow.
of stuff. And I went out with that guy every single night, except for one.
Maybe one thing about a Kristin, she gonna live, child. She gonna live and she gonna have some
I was like, I
adventures.
done had some experiences now.
I know you talking about you basic, but you did say that the rules changed. I didn't know that you could go to Jamaica without a passport at first, but until you told me that. So that's something
Yeah.
different, which is obviously changed. They do require you to have one now, but they still ain't stamping them with no ink. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But one thing about that askew, she gonna live now. She gonna have an adventure. She
You
gonna
got
have
a
a
little life
story.
experience, honey, because we here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm gonna have me a good
Okay.
time. That man was calling me when I got back to the United States. I'm like, sir, I do not know what to do with this. Like, my grandma's not paying this cell phone bill anymore.
Oh my God, that
Like,
is
I'm gonna need you to
so
stop.
freaking funny. So what you got planned for the rest of the summer? Since we right
Oh,
there.
since we on travel, okay. So I mean, I'm giving it to the people first, but I am gonna have a first date in Puerto Rico. So it'll be my first date with someone. So we'll see how the travel styles go. Like, they don't live here. They live in a different state, but we'll see how that goes. I am going to see Beyonce in Nashville, so that may be a solo trip. So I'm excited about that. That's July. August, I don't really have anything to do in August, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. It's up in the air. September, my school plays in New York, so that's just a hop, skip, jump away. So I'm gonna do that. October is homecoming, so I'll go back to Georgia. And then October, November, my little sister wants to take a trip. My little sister is a flight attendant, and so she wants to go. She really wants to go to Thailand, but because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not well traveled, and I don't know if you guys know, but I have severe sleep apnea. Like, taking long flights for me just seems really, at this point, stressful to even think
Yeah.
about. So if I don't have like the medical equipment that I need, which isn't covered by insurance, if I don't have that, then I probably won't go as far away. If we don't do Thailand or anything like that, we'll probably do South America. And then in December, if I'm not mistaken, because I've been looking up on the website, Art Basel.
Oh, Art
Um,
Basel in Miami.
Art Basel, yeah, I want to do that because it was your wedding weekend last year, girl.
Yeah,
Because
it
it was on
was.
my list, so I'm doing it
Mm-hmm.
this year. So those are my plans. That's like really,
So you got the whole
if the
year
Lord
planned.
willing, those are my plans.
If the good Lord say the same,
What they say,
I
if the
just,
creek don't rise.
baby, listen. You better than me because you got it planned out. And me, I ain't got nothing planned out. I'm just out here free balling it with no balls.
But girl, I got this good passport now, so like I'm excited, and I honestly have been somewhere every month except for January.
You really have, and that's
I've
good.
been
That's
somewhere every
cool.
month.
She got money.
She don't.
She rich.
So Fallon hooked me up with this whole. At first, I was one of them girls that was against Spirit or whatever. But I'm like, if I can like get me a little plane ticket for like $75, to go to Georgia back home, to go to Orlando, to go, wherever $75 gonna take me, I'm gonna do it because what it's encouraging me to do is to not overpack.
Yeah.
And to just take exactly what I need and
come on, minimalism.
Yeah, minimalism and save me a coin because I'm gonna need that coin because what I'm not gonna skimp on is my hotel room. Period.
Yes,
I'm gonna have me a nice hotel and I'm gonna eat some good food.
And you better than me if you still out here turning your nose up at Spirit. Because Spirit, it took me all up and through the country and out of it, and people be talking all this big shit.
I was one of those people that was talking that, but here's the thing: if you have flight anxiety, sometimes Spirit is the only airline that will get you there nonstop. Everybody else got 4-5 stops. I'm not doing that.
I'm not you. I don't want to touch nothing on no American Airlines.
American.
It's my whole ass from the back and in the front. But Spirit, I ain't never had no issues with them, and let me knock on wood because I don't ever want to have them. Like all the travel stories and everything. Like Southwest, I don't like feeling like
I love Southwest,
but I don't like not picking my seat. I don't like cattle driving and people around me. So I'm bougie. I want to pick my seat. I don't mind.
You can pick your seat when it's time for you to check in. You check in quick, and then you go pick your seat.
Even then, like it's not assigned.
Yeah, but you get those 2 free bags. That's priceless. Like, I mean, you really have to become like a good packer with Spirit. Like you really do. Like the bare minimum.
Baby, I was a Girl Scout, so I don't have no problem with that.
Me too, but I have problems. I need all my outfits, all my sunglasses.
Well,
all my shoes.
She said she got a foldable section, so you feel better than me if you have not mastered the art of packing. Like, baby, I don't even want to check no bag because that's just a whole nother stressor. But you are better than me if you still out here turning your nose up at Spirit and ain't going where the friendly skies allowing you to go. And I think that's the perfect little flight situation for a quick trip and
agreed,
just to get your feet wet. So don't be one of them people. Don't be out there in Spirit. Holler at your girl. Give me some endorsements or something. I'll do a little blog or something.
I'm not mad at it. I think I'm just, for this year, I'm just trying to have experiences in different places. And it does not have to be out of the country. Like I said, if Spirit to get me to Colorado for $75, I'm going. Yes. And the thing is, being single, like I do wish that I could have like someone, male energy, someone that I'm compatible with when it comes to traveling. Because again, my first date in Puerto Rico, I got to make sure, hey, how's this going? Like, are we going to be able to do another date in a different place? Because that could be the, deciding factor right there.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for this. I feel like I'm living vicariously. I'm still in Big Mama, Big Sister, Grandma mode where I cut somebody over some Kristin, but I'm excited. And I feel like just doing different things are going to lead you closer to your manifestations and the things that you want. So I'm excited. Just be safe and be careful. Don't maybe have to cut nobody up. Drop a pin if need be. Drop some coordinates. Send me some shots of the nigga retinas or something. So just in case. But we blessing it and we're excited about it.
I can't say dental records because he got veneers.
Shut up.
He would be so upset if you heard that.
God damn. Can't even I do the nigga teeth. God damn.
Funny.
Damn. But I guess on that note, let us go and wrap this on up because you about to start some problems and I don't need.
We don't need them.
We don't need them.
We need the trips to keep coming.
Yes. I do appreciate y'all entertaining us and just listening to us chop it up about this traveling and passaporte, and it's been a good conversation, a nice kickoff to the summertime, and I hope everybody has their plans together or is willing to look on their Spirit site to get them some plans together. But that's all I got, kid. What about you?
That's it for me too. I mean, once you guys hear this episode, feel free to reach out to us on social media and let us know the places that you're going to be traveling to because we definitely like to know, and I need to see if Spirit gonna get me there for cheap.
Yes, come on, Spirit.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll check you out next time. Bye.
Bye.
You Better Than Me is a podcast on Pyro Media Network, produced by Pyro Media Productions. Pyro Media Network and Pyro Media Productions are subsidiaries of Pyro Media Enterprises. For more information, please visit www.pyromedianetwork.com. Thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next.